Forgot to update the thumbnail. I'll be live in a sec. All right. A little bit of technical question here. I'm getting encoder errors, but everything looks fine to me. It says you need to change the video resolution because apparently I'm outputting in 4K as opposed to 1080. But it seems fine to me. Anything sound weird? Does anything sound bad? 10 out of 10 stream. Hey, Brian. Hey, everything's breaking, so just real quick, if we could make sure it doesn't break, that'd be wonderful. So I'm trying Restream again because I want to co-stream to... oh, yeah, I did update the thumb. Oop. So I want to co-stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time again. It looks like 520p. I mean, it's 1080p. Let me just open it and see.
Free and flexible.
Oh, good. We got a nice ad. It's lovely. It looks totally fine. Oh, YouTube wants me to do 1440p, probably because my monitor is 1440p. Whatever. It looks good to me. All right, so I have a lot of things planned today. This is going to be a more haphazard stream than my regular Sunday streams. By the way, I try and stream Sunday at 10:30. I took the extra time today to try and figure out some technical stuff with the stream, like how to use Restream as opposed to just YouTube. So I do appreciate all the help. Good to see you, Clay, over on Twitch. So I am co-streaming Twitch and YouTube. I don't know why. I don't even know if anybody follows me on Twitch anymore, but I have this I have somewhat of a following over there, and I just let the channel die. And I'm doing these Sunday streams, and I'm just like, let's figure this out, huh? Sorry for all the mic movements. Do you want to watch the Xbox thing again, or do you think my cut down can? Hey, Prototype, good to see you over on Twitch. Do you think my cut down can suffice? Let's see here. Because I feel like my 3-minute cut down encapsulated everything that we need to know. I don't really want to watch the 22-minute thing. And yeah, Omni says, all right, let's do that today. All right, everything's cropped appropriately. A little bit too aggressive on Phil Spencer's head. What about the scene? If I do scene. Everything's annoying. All right, we'll watch the cut down, and we're gonna do it in this one, okay? I like my fancy animated background. So I'm gonna commentate a little bit on this. I already made a video about this, but everybody hated the headline. So whatever. I've been really frustrated this week because I feel like every piece of content has just been met with a lot of negativity. The like to dislike is great. Like everybody seems to like hit that like button. I really appreciate that. But this last week, it's just like every time I put out a piece of content, they're like, blah, 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 Xbox bad. Like even the Xbox fans that typically follow things, it was like, whatever. Tina used to be EIC of IGN. I know Tina very well. She's awesome. I've met Phil. He's great. I met Sarah Bond. I was incredibly awkward around her, and she's nice. I've never met Matt Booty. I don't think Matt Booty is like a big partier. And I was talking to Phil once, and standing next to him was Todd Howard, and I completely ignored Todd Howard to ask Phil about dumb production questions. Like I am not the person that people chill with at parties. Because I'll talk about like, oh, how do you figure out your TRT? Do you have to put like the 3-second bump? Do you have to have the Xbox logo and the Microsoft logo on all of your stingers at the end? Like I go into weird places when I start talking production. OmniWaffle over on Twitch says he worked with Matt. Worked with him when I was at Mixer. He's got that booty. Yeah, that's right, Clay. All right, so this is my cut down version. It's 3 minutes. It takes out what I did was I took out all the PR nonsense and I cut it together. Like this is what they said. Yeah, Tina and Sarah are great. They're awesome. No cap. Tina was my favorite EIC ever at IGN. And like when we were trying to like figure out a problem together, and she had an idea and I had an idea, there was like usually a discussion, and then I don't know. She's just great. I don't know how to describe it. There was never like a big fight or anything like that. It was always just, we would just talk about stuff, and happy to see her at Xbox. Anyway, I'll stop talking about how great Tina Meany is. She's wonderful. Let's get into the reaction.
We made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to...
Whoops. All right.
We made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles. We looked at games that are over a year old. A couple of the games are community-driven games. So 2 of them kind of community-driven games. 2 of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that. They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
So like all for 2 freaking weeks, all we heard about, and if you're on X, all you get are the worst fanboys all the time. All we heard about was how Xbox is dead. And then Phil comes out, he's like, look, it's not Indiana Jones or Starfield. Now it's a little weird, and I have to admit it is annoying when then he goes to the verge, he's like, well, never say never. It's like, just tell us like at least 5 years. It's not going to cover something. You know, BioShock was an Xbox exclusive, right? And then eventually that came to everything too. So, yeah. So there was all this news. Gears of War is coming to PlayStation. Halo's coming to PlayStation. The games that he's discussing in this are Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and people say Grounded. The rumors were Starfield, Indiana Jones, Halo, Gears of War, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves. Like, the rumors were that 7 games were going to come to other platforms. It was insane. And then he comes out, he's like, well, it's not Indiana Jones or Starfield. I will say the podcast ended up feeling a little PR fluff. Kevin pointed that out. But at the same time, they did this because they're just like, what the hell is happening? We're not bringing these games to other platforms. It was strange. So they come out, they do this thing, and yeah, and Phil goes on to say, don't start expecting tons of games. So those were the games. So is Xbox dead? No.
Exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. We see.
I don't think enough people focused on that. PlayStation, Hiroki Totoki, just said we're going to get a lot more aggressive with day and date on PC. Helldivers is at 345,000 concurrents right now. This small studio is trying to wrestle with just a massive explosion of popularity. It's great to see, right? I'm super happy for Helldivers 2, and I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. Dylan says, who's to blame for all the drama? Well, when respectable journalists report rumors and then the rumors propagate, I mean, I don't know how to feel about that personally. Nerds and Other Legends, thank you for being a core supporter, by the way. It's a little strange because on the one hand, somebody at Microsoft told them that news, but I think it was being discussed. So it seems like the conversation I don't have any insider information, but it seems to me like it was just being discussed, and that was like the long and the short of it. So sure, you can talk about all those games, but what's actually going to happen? It's the 4 games that we just discussed. And those games are games that have reached market saturation on Xbox and PC. So they're like, all right, Sea of Thieves has been out like forever. Nobody's buying Hi-Fi Rush. Nobody's buying Pentiment at this point. Yeah. It's strange. Why not deny from the start games for you? I actually agree with that. Why wouldn't they just say, a lot of what you're hearing isn't true. Update soon. Like, why wouldn't they just tweet something like that? I guess because the main one was Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. And that one was true. But anyway, the idea of exclusives, I honestly think that we're not going to see exclusives in perpetuity for the rest of our lives. I think we're getting kind of near the end of that idea, right? And yeah. Anyway, let's continue on.
See an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value. There is
Let's listen to that again, because he's saying
the fanfare that goes around that. They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. We see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value.
They're literally going to make money off PlayStation. I did the math breakdown of like what Call of Duty is going to make them because it's on PlayStation. PlayStation is literally going to fund development of Xbox Game Studios games. Just like MLB The Show coming out on Xbox allowed Xbox to help fund PlayStation games. I think the walls are coming down, y'all. I think games have gotten too expensive, and now these companies are just like, maybe every game doesn't need to be exclusive. Maybe we need to get more loosey-goosey with this. I'll bet that Square Enix likely would have not locked Final Fantasy 16 to the console and definitely would have considered PC. And that's the thing that I've been thinking about. So gaming says the wall's coming down. It's a good thing. I agree. I think it's going to be better for consumers at the end of the day. Consoles aren't going to go anywhere. Michael Pachter is criticized because he said like consoles aren't going to go anywhere. And he's talked to me about it. He basically said that he actually thinks that we're at it like a growth standstill. Nothing has outsold the PlayStation 2. I've said this so many times. PlayStation 2 sold 155 million units. Nothing has touched it. Nothing has touched it. So these companies are spending more than they have ever spent, and they don't even have enough customers to sell to because they can't hit parity with what the PlayStation 2 was doing. I got to disagree here. This is just making excuses for Xbox's inept leadership. I don't understand what I'm making excuses for at all, Kevin. How is talking about how PlayStation is going to release more games on PC and Xbox releasing things everywhere is good for the games industry? How is that bad or making excuses? It's just the reality that's happening. I find it weird that people are like, oh, you're coping. It's like, I'm just talking about the news at hand today. And people digging up tweets from like when the Activision thing was announced. It's just, that was what, 2 years ago. What reality are you talking? The reality that we live in, Kevin. Exclusives for consoles are an old idea, Kevin. So let me explain it to Kevin. Kevin, consoles they cap out at what's PlayStation at? 25 million units. What happens if you release it on the PlayStation 5 exclusively, and then you also include PC in that? Do you at least double the amount of customers that are available to purchase your product? Yes. What does that mean? More money for your company. And companies are less focused on the plastic box because games like Fortnite came around and nobody gives a crap what platform you play Fortnite on because it has crossplay. It's an old idea. My son isn't going to be like a console fanboy. He's probably going to have a tablet or something and have every platform that he wants there. OmniWaffle says consoles dominate and will always dominate the international market. I would argue that that's not true. Look at where gaming is in China and look at where it is in Japan. Consoles do well over there, of course, but a lot of those customers are playing on mobile. Mobile is massive in China. Massive. Consoles just came to China. UK, I mean, and then we could talk about physical sales. Physical sales are gone. Mobile is the biggest growth sector of anything. And then whenever technology catches up, I think cloud will eventually get there, but it's that seems very far off to me. Well, OmniWaffle, you talk about LATAM. LATAM also struggles with bandwidth, I believe. So stuff like xCloud and the authentication process and the fact that physical media doesn't exist anymore is a huge detriment to the future of a lot of these digital-only future brands. I think LATAM, which has a very voracious Xbox fan base, they're likely going to go PlayStation because you can just buy the games and pop them in and they work. And Xbox has just decided that that's not necessary. And I do I do wonder, like, I'm just hypothesizing. I actually don't know how well LATAM does in terms of bandwidth, but I know Japan has Japan, you could like connect to a mobile device when I used to go there like 10 years ago and get 100 down. It was nuts. It was nuts how far ahead they were versus the US. It's just stupid, right? The US is finally catching up. But anyway, that's sort of my 2 cents on it. Let's go back to Phil Spencer because we're kind of chatting here a lot, but
It is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox.
yeah, so they're going to release Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment on the PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. And people were like mincing words over this. Well, they didn't say it's coming to PlayStation. It's coming to PlayStation. Other consoles. He's not talking about the fridge. Like, come on. You're like arguing about the fact that he said consoles, but he didn't specify the PlayStation. What other consoles is he talking about? Fill me in. What do you think he's talking about? The PS3? The GameCube? What other... The platforms are the Switch, the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4. Like, come on. We can use our brains a little bit and extrapolate what Phil Spencer is saying here. He is obviously talking about the PlayStation platform, and he's talking about the Nintendo platform. Yeah, no, Prototype, you're right. He said international, and I went right to the places where we hear a lot about mobile being used, and that includes China for sure. When I was in China, like everybody played on mobile, and there were like internet cafes. It was really cool, actually. Philippines, I think I've been to the Philippines, and same thing. Like they have internet cafes and everything. I don't know if they have the expandable income like we do here in the United States. I also don't know what their bandwidth's enough. I just don't know a lot about the demos in that area. I can just speak to the places where I've been, which include Japan and Germany and China, and what I experienced when I was there. So yeah, but yeah, India, huge gaming sector. You're right about all these locations that you're mentioning. I don't mean to exclude anybody. I was just speaking about places I've been. Anyway, what did Phil say? I lost my train of thought.
To get them more interested in Xbox.
Oh yeah, so they're going to release these games on the PlayStation and Nintendo, and guess what? People are going to get more interested in the Xbox brand, and then when Hi-Fi Rush 2 and Pentiment 2 comes out, funded by that money that Nintendo fans and PlayStation fans got these games for. By the way, they're not going to have Game Pass on those platforms, so they're talking about full retail releases. We're going to have the sequel first on Xbox. I've been to the Philippines, and I've been to Phuket, Thailand, and Bangkok. I can't remember where in the Philippines. I want to say Coron. Anyway, it was a while ago. Let me check. Yeah, okay. So I've been to Coron in the Philippines. That's where it was. I sound like an idiot. Sorry. I didn't know why I would be quizzed about every place I've ever been in my life on the channel today. Yeah. Yeah, so PlayStation fans are going to fund development of future games, and just like Xbox fans did with MLB. So let's continue.
4 games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not.
Please don't take this as everything's coming. It's not. How it seems cut and dry what he's saying. It's these 4 games. We're going to see how it goes, and then we'll go from there.
There's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. Our key of play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, when everybody plays, we all win. These have been part of our strategy for years.
One thing I would,
I said that Xbox Everywhere has always been the play. They've been incrementally working towards releasing more and more locations. First, it was getting PC included. I have been to Montreal. I grew up in Canada, so I've been all over in Canada. Winnipeg, BC. Anyway, you guys are making this a terrible VOD because you're asking me random geographical things that I am not the person to ask. I am an idiot when it comes to geography. So yeah. What was he saying?
Our strategy for years.
one thing I would add,
Yeah, so Xbox has been talking about Xbox Everywhere for years. So there's stuff that I've said and people have discussed about exclusivity and having exclusives for the Xbox ecosystem. For like the last 3 years, I have been talking about the Xbox ecosystem, right? Because Xbox doesn't just release on the console. The console is one facet of their business model. And now PlayStation will be part of it for games that reach market saturation on PC and on the Xbox platform. I would be curious if they ever release like the next ESO, like ESO 2. I would be curious if that would come to PlayStation day one. I think it would. And I think people will eventually learn to be okay with that. I found the reaction very strange to the idea that PlayStation might get old games that were once Xbox exclusive, and I don't really see the issue. I get it maybe if it was like Starfield, Indie, and Halo, like stuff like that, but that's not what they're doing right now. I think when the walls come tumbling down and everybody's releasing everywhere, I think it's going to be a little bit different. Kevin, sell your Xbox. Like, who cares? If you're that mad that you're going to burn your Xbox, like, just do it. I'm not going to like play. Like, what? How does that affect me if you're that mad that you're going to get rid of your Xbox? The console isn't growing. Xbox lost the console war. PlayStation won. Period. They're outselling the Xbox console 2-1. Xbox's play has always been the ecosystem. It's been that since day one. I'm not saying it's about me. But like, you're mad, you're talking about you're going to sell your console, then sell your console. I feel like you're going to get timed out. You're like really emotional about the console. I don't get it. And you're not really making a compelling case for why it's important that you like, what future would you like? All your games only come out on the console. Xbox never changes from what they've been doing since the original Xbox. You know, we want to go back to the 360 days where we had exclusives for like a year and then they came to other platforms like BioShock did or Mass Effect did. Like, this has been happening for years. I think people misremember what happened in the 360 era. Mass Effect was an exclusive. It eventually came to the PlayStation 3. BioShock was an exclusive. It eventually came to the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 eventually ended up beating the 360. Phil Spencer admitted a year ago that they lost the console war. So, yeah. Yeah, I think Kevin's trolling a little bit. Let's continue on. And your library is not going anywhere. So I feel like it's a much to do about nothing. Much ado about nothing is this phrase, right? Sorry, I spent $500 on a Series X for exclusives. If that's not happening, I lost it. If that's not happening, I'm going to sell it. That's a slap in the face. Sell it now while you can get full value then of your console if you really feel that passionately about it. Your games were never exclusive either. It's hardware. You can still, like, my streaming PC, I spent like a ton of money on my streaming PC, but I just don't get where you're coming from. I spent $500 on my Xbox. I should have stuff only on my Xbox. Nobody else is allowed to play these games. Like it's a very strange reaction. There's still going to be exclusives that only come to the Xbox ecosystem. You still have Indiana Jones. You still have Starfield. There's going to be future games. We know that there's a ton more that's going to be announced. There's going to be more hardware coming. Like, whatever. I've never worked with G4. Anyway. When everyone plays, we all win. Have you heard anybody say that before? Like Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox?
When you were talking about growth, it's just, it used to be that the platform was the biggest thing.
That's right.
And the games would sort of tuck in within the platform. Today, big games like a Roblox or a Fortnite could actually be bigger than any one platform. And that really has changed the way that we think about things. First, all of our games.
Did you hear what Matt Booty just said? The games are the platform now, not the console, not the box. The games are. The games are getting so big that console owners are begging to have them on their platforms. When Fortnite blew up, everybody wanted Fortnite on their platform, right? The games are what's more important. And the games have always been the most important thing. But now games are able to control the console manufacturers. Did you see what Fortnite did to PlayStation? Fortnite was so big, they forced PlayStation to drop the exclusivity nonsense, the tax that they had to pay in order to have crossplay. Destiny was the same thing. They just said, no, we're going to do crossplay for Destiny 2. So they did it. And that's how, like, they broke down barriers that made gaming better for everybody. And that's a good thing. It's like, yeah, you spent $500 on a console, but at the end of the day, you can still play all your games on that console. So the reaction is just, it's very narrow-minded and unfortunate that people still think, like, oh, why did I buy this box? You bought that box so you could play all the awesome games on that box. If you don't see value in that anymore, then buy a PC. Because everything's going to be coming to PC. You can build a reasonable PC for about $1,500. So if you want a future-proof, like, that would be a pretty beefy PC. I think you could even do one for, I don't know, $900 and be pretty good. Pretty set for a while. Yeah, it's the end of Xbox. We'll see. You know what the end of Xbox and PlayStation is? It's one of these. That's what it is. Mobile. Because people want convenience. People want convenience. They want to be able to play when they want, where they want. And mobile is catching up fast.
Games will be on the Xbox platform. Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day one. And third, Game Pass will only be available on Xbox.
All of our games are always in Game Pass.
So there's been some talk about this whole Sarah Bond statement because she brings up Diablo, which actually isn't part of Xbox Core. They have some branding issues with Xbox Game Pass right now. Xbox Game Pass Core, that's not what it should be called. It needs to be called like Xbox Core. Get Game Pass out of the title because it's confusing. And they're including those 34 million in the overall number for Game Pass. It's marketing. It's misleading information about where they stand in the market. And I think they need to make a correction there because it's BS. They need to kill Game Pass Core. Just call it Xbox Core. And then you got to get the Game Pass branding out of there, especially when you start saying all Game Pass owners, all Game Pass Ultimate owners will have Diablo. And this is a scripted thing. Like they knew, they edited this. You can see the cuts in it. They could have caught that, and they didn't. So it's referenced in the interview with The Verge later. So anyway, Xbox is the more important thing about this statement is that Xbox is the only place where Game Pass is going to be. So why do you own your console? Well, if you don't want to deal with the headaches of PC, then you buy a console, right? And you still have access to all of those games. And if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, all of their games are going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So it's still tremendously user-friendly. It's very pro-consumer. It's a really, really good value if you play a lot of games throughout the year. So like, there's your reason right there. The market can change however you think, but yeah.
Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass.
Don't forget, the whole Activision Blizzard library is coming to Game Pass also. I forgot about that.
Starting with Diablo 4 on March 28th. So now the 34 million Game Pass members can all enjoy the fantastic experience of Diablo 4.
This has been a strategy that we've been on for, I'd say, a decade. It's not about one device. It's not about games and...
Tuvok says I'm not a real gamer. Come at me, Tuvok. How am I not a real gamer? In any way. In any way. I probably have more hours in Destiny than you do in all your games combined last year. But yeah, go off.
Service of a device, but rather the devices that people want to play on should be in service of making the games as big and popular as they possibly could be.
He's talking about... You're a Netflix guy? Okay. You're not even making sense. He's talking about bringing games to the devices where people want to play. It's a convenience factor, right? So, yeah.
Because really a healthy creator community on Xbox, a healthy...
Tuvok, like, what are you even talking about? You know what? You're right. I am like a Netflix gamer. I'm gonna change that tomorrow. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going all physical media from now on. I'm gonna go to my local Best Buy. Oh, damn! I can't do that anymore. You know what? I'll go to Walmart. I'm gonna get physical media where the whole game. Oh, dang it! Can't do that anymore either. You're right. I guess I am a subscription gamer, and just like everybody else on planet Earth. That's where the market's headed. You can't even buy full games on the disc anymore. Clay, delete, you know who. Thank you. I saw it, yeah.
Creator community and gaming all up is the thing that all of us as game players should be voting
Thank you,
for.
Clay.
Because that's the thing that will lead to the best long-term success and growth in this industry.
That is what will lead to the best long-term success in this industry. More gamers playing games is good, period. You don't have to take Phil Spencer's word for it. I mean, like, do you like the fact that Destiny 2 is cross-play with all Destiny players? Yeah. Do you like that Fortnite has that? Yeah. It seems pretty good, doesn't it?
We fully accepted that
Yeah, I don't know what video games are. You're right. Where am I?
we're going to have Xbox players across all kinds of devices.
How do we actually give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? Just look at the performance of our platform all up. We know it's working. We're at the highest level of users on console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of users on cloud.
Andreas, okay, so Andreas made a good point about ownership. That is what, like, thank you, somebody, for saying something that makes sense. Ownership is going to be a problem in the future. These digital libraries, like, let's say Microsoft eventually tanks. I know it's not likely. They're like the Google of tech. That's a bad comparison. They're huge, is my point. What if they just decide to turn off the gaming servers one day? Everything's going to go away. Now, that's just where the market has gone, and it sucks. It absolutely stinks that you cannot actually own physical media anymore. And there's not really a good way to archive any of these things. So for now, the way you're going to preserve your games is pirate them, because these companies have not offered a good way to archive your games. What's worse is that a lot of the games as a service, they will go offline someday. Look at what Destiny 2 has done. In hindsight, I think them content vaulting content was terrible. It's really, really bad. Luke, good to see you, man. It's been a long time. Yeah, it's going to go to GOG. I understand that facet of it. I absolutely understand that facet of ownership. It's problematic. Technically, you don't own the game, but I know I can, like, what's a game that I have? Yeah, here's one. I still have my Metal Gear Solid 4 disc. I was capturing it for some reason, sitting on the desk next to me. I can't get this digitally anywhere. I have to have a PlayStation 3. Brian says, I have 3,819 hours in D2 on PS5 alone, not counting Xbox and PC. What is yours, Destin? Well, Bashi, you got me beat on that one. Also, I guess I'm not a real gamer. I only have 2,000 hours in Destiny. Also, soon enough, Xbox will have to release their games on PlayStation. Have to? I don't know about that. Yeah, so this is a good example of a game that I have to have a PS3 to play this. And it's never been ported anywhere yet until, you know, Konami finally does their garbage port of it in a few years. And then alongside that, I have a few other games here. So here's an example of one that actually did, and this is the original Soul Calibur. This is actually on Xbox Live, and I own it on Xbox Live. So I have this version, and it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, but I also have the digital version. And what do I play? The digital version. Same with Killer Instinct. I have the digital version of the original Killer Instinct. And then you got, you know, I have like every collection that has been released of this. Consumers buy smart TV based on value for features, never on exclusive content. Neither LG or Samsung are going to exit business. Yeah. Well, I think LG needs to catch up with Samsung in the gaming sector, because Samsung's just knocking it out of the park. Once we figure out the latency issues, it's going to get a lot better. This turned into like a lot more of a conversational stream. Yes, have to. It is leaving money on the table. I think it depends on which games. Bashi Washi. Let's continue on. Xbox is doing great, though, as Sarah Ben talks about.
Ever. We have double-digit growth rate on PC and cloud, places where we're enabling creators to actually reach new players beyond the console ecosystem. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday, and we're also invested in the next generation roadmap.
This is cool.
And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building.
So here's my take on the new hardware that Sarah Bond is talking about. That message is for people like Kevin earlier, who just love the console. Well, he used to love the console when there were exclusives on the console. Saint Jimmy says, I understand the market is transitioning fast, but Destin seems so hell-bent on physical media going away is okay. I don't think it's okay. I think it sucks. But it's happening. It is happening. Do you want me, like, should I stick my head in the sand and pretend that it's not happening? What can I do? What power do I have to prevent the fact that 90% of sales are digital? Nothing. The people have voted. They don't care about physical. They care about convenience. That could be to their detriment. And there's what I want. I want to own that disc for the games that I really, really love. But unfortunately, the market has voted. They have moved on from physical. And, you know, just this sort of springs to mind. Maybe it's a bad comparison. Do you remember when everybody had to do everything using VHS tapes? Then they went to DVD. Right? Because it was higher quality. And then they went from DVD to Blu-ray. And then they went from Blu-ray to digital. Why? Because it's so much easier to just reduce the amount of steps that you have to access your content. And that's why streaming services have done so well. But it's problematic. Donkey has a great video just about how ridiculous it is to watch whatever show you want to watch. Like, yeah, there was HDTVD was in there also. Betamax. Like, tech moves on and people vote by purchasing what they see as the best value. And right now it's digital. And unfortunately, that's the reality we live in. Tuvok, you think people like me, okay, dude, you like no one's going to come into your house and take away all the physical games that you purchased. Xbox has not even been printing full games on the disc for years. So like your Forza Horizon 5 disc is just a download code for the full game. Forza Motorsport was the same. Those are just the two that I know of off the top of my head. I don't even know if the new Forza Motorsport had a physical disc. We know Hellblade won't even have a disc. The market spoke. And like people like you, like it's insane. No, they're making good content though, right? Like it's good content when they're giving me these strange straw men and I can just have a conversation about it. Gaming says it should be illegal. If you print discs, all the data should have to be on it. I kind of agree with that. I think short of the government coming in and saying you have to release physical versions, I just think, yeah, all digital is not good. Xbox sales are going to suffer next year. I don't mean to laugh, King. You realize most people make all of their money off digital though, right? Like the whales buying microtransactions. In 10 years, are you going to care about the Batman skin that you got in Fortnite? Huh? Maybe you'll look back on that memory, but do you think Fortnite's going to be around in 10 years? 20 years? 30 years? It changed. The world changed. And us olds remember a day when we would put our cartridge in our Super Nintendo and play our games. And I still have a lot of those cartridges, but that's just not... People just moved on. They moved on. Oman says, I've bought maybe 2 physical games in the last decade, and that's just where the market went. Who was it? Asmongold had a summary about AI and how there's a lot of concern about AI right now, right? And we can talk about the ethics of it and how it's probably going to kill creativity. But the reality is, and it was surrounding Palworld, the customers saw the value of Palworld. So if it was created with AI or if they ripped the models or whatever, that's something for Nintendo and Palworld and Xbox to sort out. The fact of the matter is, though, the market said, we love this. We have wanted this for a long time. It like mixes all these genres we really like, and it really clicked with people. And you can be as mad about that as you want, but it did click with people. I like, there's what Destin thinks personally. I approach situations from what I think personally, and then what the reality of the situation is, right? The reality of the situation is AI is coming, whether you want it to or not. It is coming. Short of the governments across the world banding together and saying we have to stop AI, it's coming. And I think in a lot of ways it will improve the gameplay experiences we have. I think doing that responsibly is going to be the interesting question. Yeah, don't buy it. Boycotts have worked great. You know when I stopped caring about anybody boycotting anything? You want a recent example? Harry Potter. Everybody can talk about the ethics surrounding the Harry Potter conversation. At the end of the day, the game was freaking great, and people loved Harry Potter. My shirt says W3. It's a Witcher 3 shirt. And ironically, I haven't played much Witcher 3. It's a comfortable shirt, so I wear it all the time. Anyway, super off track.
Making sure that we respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward is fundamental.
And all of the games from our incredible range of studios will always launch in Game Pass. Day one, player-first features, cross-play, cross-save, cross progression, backwards compatibility, being able to play your games in your library anywhere you want. And so you're playing somewhere where you're investing and you know you get to take the games forward with you and across all of the screens where you are. Xbox is a place where you know when you're investing in Xbox, you're investing somewhere that is dedicated to make
all of this is for people like Kevin. All of this is for people like Kevin who are like, well, why did I buy an Xbox? Well, your library is not going anywhere. We still have all of these amazing features. It's a much lower point of entry. $500 is a lot less than $5,000 for like the top end future-proof PC that you would build, right? So like you're getting into this huge gaming ecosystem for dirt cheap comparatively. I don't know what else to say. I don't get why you would be mad about the idea of games that you may not have even played coming to another platform so that they can fund development of future games. Go ahead, Prototype. I have the Twitch chat up open here. I can see your messages. Chat's pretty crazy today. I actually didn't bring up my analytics, so am I just arguing with like 4 people? 500? All right, that's all right. I'm not going to take my shirt off like Alex, but yeah. Yeah, so all of this is just, hey, just a reminder, like nothing's going anywhere.
Games more successful.
It means that the biggest games are going to continue to come to Xbox. And there's more in development, which I think we're going to be able to share more about at our June showcase.
Yeah. So there's going to be a June showcase. There's new hardware coming. We know there's a controller on the way. We know there's a new console on the way. Phil Spencer said that there's no indication that they're ever going to get out of hardware. And all of the stuff leading up to the week, it turned out to be a huge overreaction. And I find it hilarious that people don't understand when I'm joking on Twitter. I made one joke post about like my levels of worry that I was like, maybe that was too much. But like most of my posts are jokes. That's why my profile says all tweets must be taken seriously. You can tell when I'm being serious and you can tell when I'm joking around most of the time. But yeah, where do we pay? I don't know. If you're talking about to me, then yeah. Prototype said, I have a decent spec PC for 3 seasons in Fortnite. I was not able to play it without the game crashing. After months of troubleshooting, I found out that I had to flash my BIOS and I was finally able to play without any issues. Yeah, PC gaming is that. So like, do you want to deal with the headache of trying to figure out how to flash and update your BIOS? Or do you want a box for $500 that lasts 8 to 10 years where you don't have to worry about any of that? If you're that type of gamer, get the box. It still makes sense. And it seems like if you want everything and you can deal with the tech headaches, I do have a cold. You can just buy a PC. I play most of my games on PC. If I want to chill, I play on the couch. I'm very fortunate that I am able to just have all the consoles and play whatever I want wherever. So yeah. Prototype said he paid about $2,500. So it is a much higher. PC's annoying, honestly. Like I just had driver updates that screwed up everything for like a week. It's annoying, right? We got 38 people over on Twitch. Thanks for watching. And we got 400 or 500. Thanks for watching, everybody. The chat is a little like squished here. So I was trying to like open the Twitch chat. Yeah, the OBS tries, but it's like too big. I just kind of want the text a little smaller. Sorry. Whatever. We'll do that next time. MG Live, thanks for enjoying the conversation. So where do I want to go from here? All right. So confession time, everybody. We're going to move on. I watch a lot of Asmongold. It's a bit of a problem. And one of the things his subreddit talked about, I don't know what happened. So Asmongold reacted to the Baldur's Gate video. And then like a year later, I saw him streaming something and I just typed a joke in the chat and he read it. And I was like, how the frick did you see that? Because he's like one of the most popular streamers, right? So I was really surprised. And then his live content's really interesting. It's thought provoking, and I like thought provoking stuff, even though I don't agree with everything he says. Michael says Microsoft should release Bleeding Edge on other platforms. I also think that game was cool. I don't even know what that is, so sure, why not? The Reforged, yeah. On his subreddit, though, there was this really, really funny game. I know I'm a nobody, but it was Blood and Mead. And he sent his game out for a pitch, and they asked him to tone down the violence. And I thought this was amazing.
Hi. So I've been in discussions with a potential publisher. Now they sent me an interesting email. Hi, John. After consultation with the team, we'd like to request a dial down of the game's violence, as we feel the game could appeal to a wider audience. Let me know your thoughts. Well, Michael, hello. So I've made some changes that I'd like to propose to you. Firstly, with the right skill level, you can now perform an execution. And then you can play with their head like a soccer ball.
Messi, give it to him and pray. Oh, he's done it!
Perfect for unlocking doors. But I'm not done. Let's get up this ladder and zip line down here. So in the last video, I revealed a shield throw. It's not very effective, but you see I've added new shields. This one here is called Razor Fang.
I love it.
So Michael, consider that my official response and the conclusion to our discussions.
So I wish listed it. I don't know if this exchange actually happened or if this is just marketing, but I thought it was really funny. The game is Blood and Mead, so I thought it was pretty good. It's a solo indie dev working on Blood and Mead, a bone-crushing combat side-scroller, and you can go over to Steam and wish list it. I've already wish listed it, as you can see here. So yeah, it's from Lost Relic Games, and I don't know. I'll be rooting for the game. I'll just say that. And I like how he handled it. Do you want to talk about the Switch 2 rumors? So this one's been on my list. I don't even know if I want to talk about it because I think it's boring. People are like, how come you didn't talk about the Switch 2 rumors? I covered the Switch. People just don't care. They don't care about the Switch 2. There's nothing concrete about the Switch 2. It's another rumor about the release date moving. So we heard earlier this year that it's definitely coming in 2024, and now it's coming in 2025. Definitely, for sure, it's a real thing. Nintendo's totally doing it. The whole story is that everybody is corroborating each other with multiple sources, and they're saying that it's now coming out in Q1 2025. And I believe Q1 2025, because they're a Japanese company, if somebody who knows business can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that starts in April. I Googled it because I was a little confused. In the US, I'm very confused about like quarters, because it seems different for a lot of different companies. And I think in Japan, it starts in April. So it's like April, May, June is Q1. So it's going to launch summer of next year, maybe. I don't think it's... Yeah. So I don't know. Let's assume it's earlier in the year, but yeah. Here's what Bloomberg had reported, because VGC has this whole collection. Nintendo Co. is advising game publishers that its next generation console will be delayed until early months of 2025, according to people with knowledge of the matter. It said Nintendo has told some publishing executives not to expect the console until March at the earliest. So they're talking about normal Q1. March is the earliest, but Q1 in Japan, in business terminology, it's April. So whatever. Switch 2 someday. Oh. So we had this whole conversation about Xbox. Let's talk about PlayStation now, because I don't think I did like a collection about all the PlayStation stuff. Let's listen here.
First-party title main purpose, and the other potential driver is the first-party title generation. Because in the past, as you all know, we wanted to popularize console, and the title was something, and the first-party title main purpose was to make the hardware or the console popular, right? It is true, right? But there's a synergy to it. So if we have a strong first-party content, not only with our console, but also other platforms like computers, and the first-party can be grown with multi-platforms, and that can help operating profit to improve. So that
First party can be growing with multi-platforms. They're saying the same thing Microsoft is saying. It's exactly the same. Microsoft is already on PC. So for Microsoft, other platforms is the PlayStation and the Switch. PlayStation is working on PC and mobile, and they're talking about PC very specifically here. So yeah.
That's another one that we want to practically work on. I personally think there are opportunities out there for improvement of margin. So I would like to go aggressive on improving our margin performance.
I want to go aggressive in improving our margin performance. I mean, it's about money for these people, right? Why is my air's stupid? I think I need to replace the batteries. My air's like blowing on me. If you ever see me do this, that's where my it's called a mini split for this room is. This room gets so freaking hot. It's just blowing cold air in my face. Yeah, so PlayStation, they're also going multi-platform. You're right, Tuco. That's correct. I don't like, yeah. And then you talk about some of the other stories that have come out here. Sony Interactive Entertainment will not release any new major existing franchise titles before March 31st, 2025. Like the amount of insanity I've seen because of this, like that's what they said. Don't expect new PlayStation first party things until March 31st, 2025. Meanwhile, Xbox has a great 2024 lineup, or at least a much more interesting one. I mean, great is subjective. I think it's a great lineup for 2024. You know, Hellblade 2, I'm really excited about. I'm excited about Indiana Jones, and Avowed, I'm curious about. So I'll at least be playing those three. And then meanwhile, there's no first party stuff coming until next year. People have really read between the lines here. I would not expect anything first party. They've not announced anything first party. They've been hacked to heck and back. So, yeah. And then, what else do we got here? There's this Colin Moriarty thing where Colin echoes kind of what I've
obvious,
said.
And they've said what they should take out of it is start releasing your games on fucking PC. I don't know, like,
Colin
it doesn't.
swears.
It behooves them to consider PC quicker to release date for more of their games. This is obvious, and they've said as much in their financials, which we're going to get into in a minute. But they should look at Helldiver's success and realize that it is highly reliant on its PC presence. It would still be hundreds of thousands of people would be playing it at a time on PS5 right now, but it doesn't have quite the visibility that Steam does with Steam DB and looking at concurrent charts and kind of feeding the beast. You got to check this thing out. Look how big it is. Like, just that alone, I think was huge for the game. But as a strategy, moreover, like, I don't think Sony, I've said it for a long time, so it's nothing new from me, but Sony should be releasing more of its games on PC and
Yes. Like, yes, they should. Everybody has thought that. And Sony's finally waking up to it. So they're just, it's the smartest play.
really should consider day and date games on PC as a rule, specifically with these kinds of games. I mean, it should come as no surprise. We know that Concord is coming to PS5 and PC at the same time. You would have to imagine Fair Games is going to be the same. And that should definitely.
By the way, both those games, I don't know what they are. Like, they have done nothing to get me hyped for either of those games.
Definitely happen. But when you look at games like an Uncharted game or a Horizon game or something, I don't know that you don't want to maybe, dude, Horizon on PC day and date. I really think they need to open their mind to.
He talking about Horizon on PC? Bro, Spider-Man on PC day and date. PlayStation has been so focused on how many consoles they sell. It's like, how long is it going to take you to get to 50 million installs? And now, especially now that you're doing next-gen only titles, you are limiting your profit margins by not releasing on PC. The whole console exclusive idea, it's an old idea, and the games have become too expensive, and that's why both of these companies are talking about other revenue avenues. More so Microsoft. Microsoft likely has to do it, like somebody alluded to earlier, on at least PC, so that they can increase their revenue gains. Sony is smart to do it.
To this idea that they get their games certainly on PC. I think there's this idea that they should put their games even more places, but I don't see why you would play nice with specifically Microsoft. There's from Sony. If Sony wanted to do that, that would be totally fine with me. But from their perspective, I would imagine that they don't want to play too nice with their.
They won't. I think that's like a nice kumbaya type future. I don't think it's happening.
Their competitors. But PC is this agnostic place where you're not going to get these people anyway. How many generations of fucking console gaming has to happen before people realize that there are just a glut of gamers on PC and they're not going to buy your console? So go sell games to them. It's a no-brainer. I know the 70-30 split is a bummer.
I'm not going to go watch MBG.
Valve is not one to kind of... I'm sure that Valve...
Is MBG watching me and then reacting to me? That's the only reason I would be like, what are you doing?
Doesn't give a shit if the game's on Steam or not, so they're not going to make a special deal with you. I know you'd rather sell your games on PS5 and keep people within the walled garden and make more money on them, but sometimes you just don't have that option. This is just additive. They have to understand that they're not going to get these people.
So physical media is dying, right? Physical media, it's gone from Best Buy, it's gone from Walmart, and people still don't get why maybe it would be a good idea to start releasing your games on at least PC day and date. The reason Xbox has managed to keep up so well is because they've used that strategy. PlayStation is looking at the numbers and they're like, hey, we're making a lot of money off these PC sales. Hey, Helldivers 2 is like a massive win for us. This is crazy. I bet Baldur's Gate did really well for them also. They've already won the console war. So you can talk about how great the console sales numbers are. Why would they not? They're never going to lose against the Xbox Series X and S. They won't. Even though they have like nothing coming until 2025 in terms of first party, no one's going to be like rushing to the store to break their PlayStation 5 and sell it, right? Except for the scalpers, of course. They've won the console war. The Switch is ahead, but the Switch started at the PS4 era. So the Switch is at, let's look at console sales. Let's bring it up. Let's look at the charts, y'all. All right. PlayStation 2, 155 million, about. DS, 154 million. Switch, 139 million. PlayStation 4, 117.2 million. Do you know why they did cross-platform releases for so long? Because there was a part shortage, and like in the first few years, it took them a long time to get 25. Right? Where's the PS5? Where's the PS5? Tell me when to stop. Oh, there it is. The PS5 will soon outsell the Xbox One's entire lifetime. But the PS5 was released in 2020, so it will have taken them 5 years. I'm guesstimating that it'll take them the remainder of this year, so sometime in 2025, they will have surpassed the Xbox One in terms of sales, right? But Sony and PlayStation, they don't want to be here. They want to be here. That's where they want to be. So they'll get there maybe by the end of the console life cycle, but I'm starting to wonder if they do surpass the PlayStation 4 or if they just land near it. Hear me out on Xbox. $800 comes with Xbox OS and Windows, so you can switch, and it has Steam app. If powerful enough, it will sell like hotcakes. I really like that idea. I think as an optional tool, it could work, but they like having the locked ecosystem so they can control piracy. Once you add Windows to a console, you're opening a can of worms, and a lot of people have already like hacked the Xboxes, but I hear you. Oh, and the response to this was, day and date PlayStation games on PC has felt likely for a long time now. Like I said last month, Sony has been following parts of Microsoft's Xbox strategy, so the next step is a more aggressive commitment to PlayStation games on PC. And here's what they say. This opportunity means we're going to see Microsoft and even Sony explore new ways for their games to be played. Sony has followed Microsoft into the game subscription era, launched multiple... Yeah, think about that. They launched cloud streaming first, gave up on it. Microsoft released xCloud, which was a better experience, and then they relaunched it. And it's better, but like they gave up on, they were first to market with that, and they gave up on it because it was trash when it launched. PlayStation Now was really bad at launch. There's a stream somewhere on IGN of me trying out Final Fantasy or something, and like the input latency was atrocious. It's way better today. Way better. At least for me. I know not for everybody. And then Game Pass was like starting to be this thing. And then PlayStation rebranded their live streaming product with their Game Pass type product with PlayStation Plus. And, you know, they kind of like share the numbers in an interesting way. Both of them share their numbers in a way I don't like, where it's really hard to like parse the information. Sony has followed up Microsoft into the game subscription era, launched multiple PlayStation exclusives on PC, and opened up PS5 games to cloud streaming. It even has big ambitions for cross-platform live service games, although some of that is being pushed back due to mixed levels of success. The point is both PlayStation and Xbox are experimenting with how they sell their games and where players experiment them. Absolutely agree. And you know why this is happening? Because game costs have just gotten nuts. They're out of control. They're absolutely out of control. The cost to make a video game, $300 million. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And then a game like Helldivers comes along, and it's just a good game. Did you see the Baldur's Gate 3? I got to find the Baldur's Gate 3 dev speech. Because it's just so, every time Larian speaks, it is so refreshing. Let me find it. Not the Game Awards speech, the one that was just like last night. Here we go. So Larian won Game Award at Game of the Year award at DICE.
Game.
We're gonna skip this. I just want to hear the speech. Okay,
Of the year is Baldur's Gate 3.
Not $300 million, Audi. Thanks, Warner. All right, so Baldur's Gate 3 wins Game of the Year. Here's what they say.
This is existential to us, as you can tell from all the
As the
emotion
kids say,
on
it's
David's
based.
face. We're very lucky. We've had a
Neil
lot of
Newbon.
stage time. Others are not so lucky. This is a really human industry, and we're really bad sometimes at showing developers what they're worth and showing the players at home that we care about them. It's kind of the elephant in the room, especially surrounded by all this opulence, which, you know, can only go so far. Without people, we would not be standing here. Without the people that work on these games, we would not be standing here. Many, many people were let go at the start of this year. I want you all to know that you are talented and that you matter and that you are the future of this industry. Don't let that flame be extinguished by our collective mistakes. I know that everyone here is scared because shit's really fucked up. All of your projections are wrong, and it's scary. But we persevere as an industry, we will persevere as an industry, and you will all find your place, and you will all be welcomed back with open arms.
I'm a little sick. Anybody thinking that the games industry is going anywhere, they're wrong. He's right.
And we'll still be making games for the players and for you and with these guys. So.
To add to that, a lot of people probably want to know what's the secret to your success. Last year I started thinking the secret to our success is the decisions that we make come from what does the player want? What do I think is best for the game? What is the most fun? What is the most crazy?
Yeah.
People telling us we shouldn't do this or we can't do it or this is too challenging or too hard, like it was already said here today. That usually just gives us a kick up the arse to actually make it happen.
God, they're great.
The stuff that we make at Larian is we ask you to pay one price only for the game, and that's it. You can own it for the rest of your life. We don't have shareholders, but we also don't think about them.
That's a reference to an Embracer statement where like, we got to think about the shareholders. So we fired 2,000 people. Like, Embracer sucks. Embracer like overextended and they're paying the price for it. Kay the Barbarian, if you can find that, I'll read it.
And we think there's an expression in Dutch that honesty lasts longest or something. There's probably a version in English as well. That makes a lot of sense. But what we have tried in the last 20 years is to treat people like we would like to be treated ourselves as players, as gamers. So we don't make decisions where we think this could make us the most money.
We don't make the decisions where we think this could make us the most money.
In the long run, building a community, building a player base, building games that are actually fun is going to make you the most money. That's a player
Let's hear it
base,
again.
most money.
Let's hear it again.
On the long run, building a community, building a player base, building games that are actually fun is going to make you the most money. That's it.
Building games are fun that are fun in the long run is what's going to make you the most money. That's it. Period. And it's really, really unfortunate. And the whole Baldur's Gate 3 video was about this. Because when I start seeing developers talk about how hard it is, how it's not possible, how, oh, they had all these advantages. It's just like, at the end of the day, it's just a great game. And it's a really weird sentiment to see discussed. Like, just make great games. And I'm sure everybody goes out there trying to make great games. Like, I don't think anybody's like, I just want to make a pile of garbage. But they're stuck in these companies that have put profits above creativity. And they're like infected or something. I don't know the right way to say it. Their like mind is just stuck in that cycle. We're like, oh, well, we have to add we have to like have microtransactions in the game. And you know what? We can't just like have cool armors in the game because then when are we going to sell people? How are we going to sell our $65 horse? Like, to see what Diablo has become makes me so mad. But at the same time, the consumers are guilty of purchasing those things. I don't buy that garbage because I don't want that in our games. And it's become so prevalent that more money can be made by digital sales than physical. Big part of the reason physical is gone. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. If you want to put microtransactions in your games, sure. But let's not pretend like that's not having a negative impact on the games that we play. Games are getting so big and so expensive because What they want is they want you in their games as long as physically possible so that you go to the store someday and spend $5 on a costume or $37,000. And it's gotten really, really, really bad. We're not talking about one piece of horse armor. We're talking about $12 outfits and $65 horses and $30 portal changes. But I'm not going to support it though, Nighthawk. That's all I can do. All I can do is not support it and talk about my disdain for it. But it's not going to change anything. So sure, add your microtransactions to your game. And like Helldivers has microtransactions in their game, but is that negatively impacting the overall experience? No. So there are healthy ways to do it. And if you look at the value you get at something like Path of Exile, all the like crazy insane portals you get versus a palette swap in Diablo 4, how is the billion-dollar company doing what they're doing and the smaller company just feels like they're innovating in more exciting ways? That's what's frustrating as a gamer, right? I am so happy to see Helldivers succeed. It just really struck a nerve with everybody. Anyway, I love Larian. I hope they continue on for many, many years. I have seen a threat. So like everybody knows I don't really like Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is less than 1,000 players. Let me just look that up. I want to talk about this headline because I actually didn't like it. Look, we can all poo-poo on Suicide Squad. This headline's wrong. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has less than 1,000 players. It's technically not wrong, but the reason it had less than 1,000 players is because they were doing server maintenance, which is a different problem. But I felt like this was very misleading and frustrating to see reported because it has under 2,000 players. But the reason it dipped below 1,000 players is simply because they had a server maintenance. So if you want to criticize Suicide Squad, do it for real things and like don't do that. Don't do that. There's plenty to criticize about Suicide Squad, but they're not below 1,000 players. They are below 2,000. And I looked. Like you can literally look and see. Let me find it here. When the dip happened and then they bounce back once the servers are back up. So here we go. So burp, 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 under 1,000. And then this is like when they were having server issues, they took them offline. And then they came back up. And they've been okay. Okay. That's not a server maintenance. They are dipping below 1,000. So maybe my frustration was incorrect with the reporting. So this was written 2 days ago. This is on the 16th. No, they're right. All right. Well, I was wrong. I got to take the L on that one. I was wrong. Look at that. I thought it was server maintenance, but no, they're consistently dipping under 1,000 concurrents. Let's look up Arkham Knight. Ugh. I wanted to love Suicide Squad so bad. I wanted my op-ed to be... Wait, why isn't it comparing to Batman? I wanted my op-ed to be like, I was wrong about Suicide Squad. Unfortunately, I was completely right about Suicide Squad. Oh my God. Do you see the disparity here? Look at that. This is where it was last time I looked on around February 12th. Just look at the disparity between the old game and the new one. This is, and this is a situation where the opposite should be true. I don't know. I do not think, I would be amazed if Suicide Squad ends up having a full year of post-release support. They have all these story plans. The Joker stuff is a little strange. Joker's a homicidal maniac, and they're like, he's not really sure about his place in the world. Like, what are you talking about? He is a homicidal maniac. He's not sure of his place? Like, what? Are you trying to get us to feel empathy for the Joker? The person, like, isn't the Oracle storyline part of the Arkham universe? So that Joker shot Oracle in the back, crippling her, and took half-nude photos of her and sent them to her dad. Like, we're supposed to feel bad for this new Joker from an alternate universe? What are you doing? There's so many storytelling issues with that game. I get mad when I see just utterly wasted potential. I see so much potential with a name like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and I feel like it was squandered. Sorry, there was a super chat earlier that I mentioned briefly, but I actually wanted to read. I apologize. Tuco said, as a gamer, I would love to be able to play my PlayStation library on Xbox and Xbox library on my iPad. Yeah. More accessibility seems good to me. I actually have people watching on Twitch. Thanks, everybody. Good day, Destin. Been watching vids. Good to see you. All right, what else we got? I was wrong about this one. Yeah, Suicide Squad's doing worse than I thought. I thought I was like, hey, now, like, let's not get crazy with all these posts. We talked about Blood and Mead. Check this one out. So, I saw a lot of people push back about the stories around PlayStation. This was a very popular tweet about misinformation and whoa, they're not doing that bad. Everybody pump your brakes. I don't know who William is. I've never seen him in the space before. He's followed by notable people, apparently. Well, who does he know? Well, he knows David and yeah, like, sure, let's follow him. So he wanted to set the record straight on some of the statements that we saw about the PlayStation stuff. So let's read it. Correcting misinformation on incorrect interpretations from the Sony PlayStation thing. Part 1 of 3. PlayStation is going third party. Okay. I didn't see anybody say that. And all future PlayStation games are going day and date on PC per the statements from Sony's Hiroki Totoki. I think that's an extrapolation. Nothing new was actually stated regarding their plans, especially regarding going third party. PlayStation is not putting their games on Xbox or Nintendo. What? Nobody said that. Games for you. Thank you for leaving me with a joke. Oh my God. So this whole paragraph is just a correcting of that? Okay, here's part 2. Misinformation 2. PlayStation has no major AAA first-party releases until next year. PlayStation has no games. 2024 will be a dry year. They don't mean there won't be any AAA first-party games this year. They meant that there won't be any sequels to their tentpole franchises this year, which we all already knew because we obviously weren't getting Spider-Man 3, God of War Egypt, Last of Us 3, or Horizon 3 this year, since the previous games in those franchises literally just came out. They do not mean that there won't be any AAA games from PlayStation from new IPs from first-party studios this year, because we already know that Concord, which is a game that's coming to PC day one and PlayStation day one, so that kind of refutes his first point. And if you count first-party games from second-party studios, what? First-party games? This this is super weird. This reads super weird. Alan Wake 2 only sold 1.3 million. I don't think Alan Wake has ever been like a gangbuster in sales, but it's been a critical darling. So yeah. And there are still many amazing exclusive announcements to come in the upcoming PlayStation showcase. We'll see. The actual quote was, regarding first-party software, we aim to continue to focus on producing high-quality works and developing live service games, but while major projects are currently under development, we do not plan to release any new major... Yeah, okay. Misinformation number 3. Sony is downgrading their projections for PlayStation 5 console sales from 25 million to 25 million. PlayStation 5 is failing. No, they missed their target. We know they missed their target. So, yeah. Misinformation for Sony is killing the PS5. They already said it's in the latter stages. I mean, that's just the whole latter stages thing was so blown out of proportion because people reported that they said the PlayStation 5 is in the latter stages of its life cycle. It's been out for 4 years. So yeah, it is in the second half of its life size cycle. And like I think a lot of this stuff isn't being said. Maybe it's being said by the fanboys, but I don't see anybody reporting that PlayStation is failing by only selling 25 million units. Ari, thank you, man. Have a good one. Anyway. That's a weird post. But there's the additional context. I think that's a weird post. So, 12:30, we're going to do some reacts this time. All right. I need either a thumbs up or a thumbs down in chat for my reacts content because the comments are like all over the place when I do reacts videos and I don't really get it. It's just reacts. Everybody does reacts. I'm not like just watching the video and not saying anything. So yeah. Whoa, my chair just moved a little bit. Whoa. All right, let me fix that. Y'all might see my blanket. Got my old man blanket on. Middle. The chair is saying no. So I had a whole bunch of watch this in my watch this playlist. Ooh, here we go. This one looks good. Never heard of the person before. This one looks funny. Let's do a funny one first.
Please don't. Facts, Jeff. We don't.
All right. Oh, I might have watched this one already. Okay, so we got some good ones actually. Oh boy, I might get in trouble for watching that one. Man, there's like a bunch of really good ones that I've had queued up for a while. Let's see. How many thumbs up did we get? Lots of thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. Sorry, thumbs down. We're going to watch some cool videos and talk about them. Noob Tech Guy, thank you for the support. I thought you already supported. Anyway, thanks. Thank you again. All right. Oh, we got to do the scene, and I got to adjust some stuff here. 1 second. Boop, boop. Oh, no, I spoiled my my list. What do I have in there? Bunch of random stuff. Call of Duty goes to HonestCon. Oh, I got to record it. Call of Duty goes to HonestCon. These are great series, and I love them. Let's see what happens.
None of this is real.
Welcome, everyone. It's time to see some raw, real honesty. Amen. Dave Shelby, welcome to HonestCon. What can you tell us about recycling a live service game?
First of all, Jeff, it is awesome to be here. I've got a lot to get off my chest. Modern Warfare 3 this year is complete bullshit. It's actually...
The cat. Yeah, the cat outfit. I'm very happy that finally we can be a cat.
Just a DLC patch for Modern Warfare 2. Lipstick on a pig, yeah? At least that's what my team thought we were working on. But you know Call of Duty will never disappoint you when it comes to disappointing you. We're shipping 16 multiplayer maps, all from the original that we should have included in the first place. And it'll
the strategies that have been implemented at Activision Blizzard over the last several years have been so frustrating. And HonestCon, this series is just such a fantastic encapsulation of expressing frustration that a lot of us have. So yeah.
It'll cost you $70.
Astronomical. Okay, set it up for us, Dave. Give us a glimpse into the future of the franchise.
You all need to realize that we're now in the TikTok era. So if Fortnite does anything, we are going to try copy it.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, Groot, the cat lady, they added Spawn, they added the Diablo characters. Like, they just went off of the deep end and they were like, yeah, Call of Duty's like cool, but like, let's just, who cares? Look how good our mobile version is doing. Let's do all of that in the full release.
This is our largest bundle buying simulator yet. The whole game is filler content for live service. The only focus now
The reindeer is not real, is it? Are there any Call of Duty players in chat? The reindeer is not real, is it?
We are going to try copy it. This is our largest bundle buying simulator yet.
That's a joke, right? The pain deer? That's not a real thing. I kind of like Snoop, no cap. All right. I think that's real. And they have they have the Dune character. I don't know what that is. Wow.
The whole game is filler content for live service. The only focus now is to retain
Go-karts? All right.
engagement and drive microtransactions.
Retain engagement. Grass? No way. The Oh, I didn't know Crash Bandicoot was in Call of Duty. Now I kind of have to play, right? I'm kind of glad that they're having fun with it, but at the same time, it's also kind of like, that's really funny. Let me get rid of the top crop there.
But hey, you can slide cancel now.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about the campaign, Shelby. Warzone will obviously factor into this as it continues to slowly consume the game like a malignant tumor. Tell us a bit about what is the story.
This person is so good. Obviously, they're using like AI speech, but it's parody and just sorry. I find it very funny.
From the campaign.
Yeah, so for the first time for Call of Duty this year, we're doing a direct sequel to a sequel of a reboot. It'll
a direct sequel to a sequel of a reboot. All right.
probably take you longer to install the game than it will to play through if you don't count the...
There were a ton of issues at launch with installing the game and just getting it to launch. And then the campaign was like multiplayer missions that acted as campaign missions, and people were not happy about it.
Cutscenes. We're letting AI script everything, and boy, did it make our heads spin. While we were optimizing the storefront, it decided to train its Makarov module on Ben Shapiro. Half the 4-hour campaign is cringing through the cutscenes. The dialogue
Cringing.
choices don't matter. Then just when you think
The dialogue choices don't matter. Get hype, everybody. Oh my goodness.
you're in the middle of a story, boom, end credits slap you in the face. It's around then that you'll realize you were basically just playing a solo Warzone map with bots. When it decided to kill Soap again, I was like, well played, dude. No human writer would ever do that.
Yeah, Soap was a real kick in the nuts.
I know, right? Nothing was at stake.
Jeez.
Nothing has resolved, but don't worry. Important plot points will play out in future seasonal cutscenes and Warzone events. And when the AI inexplicably brought...
Do you remember when I said that retention metrics have infected game design? This is the stuff that I'm talking about. You get your campaign, and then they want you to go into Warzone because you can play Warzone in perpetuity. But every week there's the cool thing. Like Destiny broke me. And I just like something broke in my brain and I just stopped caring about the terrible plot points that are stringing us along. Anyway.
So back from the dead as an operator skin for season 2. I was like, chef's kiss, man, chef's kiss.
Well, thanks for the heads up. But shouldn't I still play multiplayer to hang out with friends, as COD intended?
Jeff, my sweet summer child. Something you need to remember is that all warfare is based on deception. And we're still the best war game on the market. These are some of the public...
Warzone's good. I think Warzone's a good game, though. I know I might get some flack for that, but I think it's fine.
Available patents you can all go view on Google right now.
This is scary stuff. This is a real patent.
And they're a real eye-opener.
About adjusting
We've allowed
difficulty.
Our online multiplayer to evolve into a deeply immersive casino-style experience that weaponizes manipulation.
Can you give me an example?
These patents say we can use your camera for biometrics like facial expressions, body language, even sweat to figure out how much you liked your last run to optimize replayability for our whales. From pairing new...
Yeah, they're talking about watching you play the game and then figuring out, oh, my stream's like crashing hard. And then figuring out new ways to monetize you. It's worrisome. I'm going to stop this recording. I think recording while streaming like broke it for a second. Let's see what happens. All right. Might be good on your end, but I needed to do that really quick.
Players with experienced players who buy bundles to create FOMO, to rewarding new spenders with
Fear of
easy
missing
lobbies,
out.
to give them an extra lick of dopamine. It's called engagement optimized matchmaking. Think of it as skill-based matchmaking that is so strong it'll ignore your latency. Ever read our TOS, Jeff? Lobbies could be easily...
Was that Skeletor? I think that was Skeletor, y'all. I got to fix the encoder here. It's like freaking out. 1 second. I think it's because my... Yeah, so my recordings are set to 50,000 CBR. Let's bump that down to 20,000 CBR. See if maybe streaming and recording at the same time. Did I break it though? Yeah, it looks pretty choppy. Looking a little choppy. Let's go to sec. Sound is good, video is skipping. I don't know, I might have broke it. Did I break everything? Yeah, I broke something. For sure. Let's see here. Let me see how the live stream looks. Yeah, it's all choppy now, huh? It looks like it's stabilized. Sorry, chat. I'm trying like 10 different things this episode. There we go. All right, the stream's stable. Stream's stable, right? We back? We back. All right. Let's finish this out. Let's see what happens.
Easily populated by AI bots with dummy data harvested from other players to make it look like they're real humans. They'll even mimic friendliness. Friends, Jeff. Comrades. The whale holy grail. These bots could...
All right. I don't know what's going on. I messed with some settings and it like kind of ruined everything.
have a geographic location, gender, income level. I could go on.
Please don't.
Facts, Jeff. We don't have to make a good game. We have to release a regular game. Once you've been playing long enough, it becomes a habit. You'll keep buying and playing the game even if you don't enjoy it. And all we have to do is pump out daily, weekly, and monthly challenges to keep you spending.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for it. Ask the thousands of people doom scrolling the COD subreddit right now.
Jeepers Dave, I am not going to touch that. All right, there's your warning. Stay.
Yeah, that's like, the scary thing is, that's real. That's a real thing. No, I think I fixed the choppiness issue. I'm just not going to record and stream because I'm streaming at a really high bit rate and I'm trying to record at a really high bit rate and it's just like, I don't know what to do. So, yeah.
Away. And now it's time for an Honest Con banger.
Big Snoop in the house. Yeah. Yo.
And then he kind of goes off with the Snoop Dogg. Yeah. So Call of Duty is doing some terrifying stuff. Yeah, yikes. What else we got?
Gamers.
Well, okay, so this one was what do we got? Why gaming still isn't respected. Live service AAA games keep failing. How video games went woke. I don't know if I want to watch that one. Why video game piracy is good. I want to watch this one about AAA gaming. Let's check this out. Live AAA games keep failing. Skull and Bones and Suicide Squad flop.
Gamers rejoice. Today is a good day for gaming because live services are no longer going to be what we've seen up until now. I think we are witnessing a dramatic shift towards the future of how live services work, and that is off the back of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Skull and Bones. And
I mean, do we really think that Suicide Squad is going to be the death of these type of games? I think it's going to... Suicide Squad is just such a problematic game. I would argue that something like Skull and Bones is a better example, even though it's quadruple A. Like, stop saying stuff like that, executives.
And Helldivers 2. The catastrophe, the disasters that have been Suicide Squad and Skull and Bones, these three games are going to send a message to other developers, to publishers, that live service games need to change. They need to function a little bit differently if you intend for them to not crash and burn this.
But Helldivers 2 is having server issues, but it's a really good game. So there's server issues, but it's tremendously successful. So I'm not sure where he's going with the last point.
Hard. And if you want them to be successful like Helldivers 2, not only do you need to make a great game, but you need to be very careful with how you implement those live service features and that monetization. And in my humble opinion, this is going to lead us into a new era of live service games that will still exist, but will not resemble the monstrosities that we've had to deal with until now.
I don't understand how anybody can play Suicide Squad and just say it's a good game. It's just not. It's so bad. I think maybe like the gameplay loop and endgame, but like the story is abysmal. The amount of gameplay that you get throughout playing the story is so minimal that it's like, I don't even know how you could enjoy that part of it. It's to go from Arkham Knight to that, and Arkham Knight was problematic with all the Bat Tank stuff. I don't get how anybody is just like, Suicide Squad was awesome. Like, even the biggest fan has to see that story was terrible. Nobody can convince me that they think the story of Suicide Squad was good.
Games industry is no stranger to trend chasing, and we've been trend chasing for a long time. Suicide Squad was in development for over 6 years, and Skull and Bones was technically in development for 11 years and somehow managed to come out and be a worse version of a game that came out 11 years ago.
So I've seen this comparison a lot, the comparison to Black Flag and Skull and Bones, and I'm all for criticizing something that's falling short of expectations, right? But one thing I sort of noticed was I feel like it's a little weird to criticize that particular structure because they're different types of games. One has thousands of players playing at once. One is a single player experience. I think what people are getting at is just like, we would have been fine with a single player experience. You don't need to keep trying to monetize us. We know what you're doing, and we're so freaking tired of it. And I think that's what people are really getting at with the differentiation between these two.
So there you go. My point is, these studios, these publishers got these ideas in their head of making live service games, of making continuous revenue streams, as they call it, a long time ago. And it turns out that in that long time, a lot of what they've wanted to chase just doesn't work.
Huh. How long have you been tracking our car's value?
Whoops.
Just like 7 months.
Should we sell it?
Anymore. Like most trends, they do pass, and hopefully we keep the good from them and not the bad.
It is shot. I've seen the videos.
Associate live service game with bad, then there's also hundreds of thousands of people who have really enjoyed Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
Another example
Good
that
game.
makes it clear that live service games are kind of on the way out, or at least going through a very big transformation. I don't think they'll ever disappear. Is Sony's announcement 3 months ago that they were reducing their 12 planned live.
Yeah, so Sony went too hard on this. I think that's the real reason Jim Ryan is out. They had 12 planned live service games. It was too aggressive of a strategy. They should you can't just go you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? I got it out. It took me a while, but you can't do that. You're setting yourself up for failure, and that's what Sony did here. And obviously, maybe that was like templatizing it, but yeah. I checked out the Tomb Raider remasters. I got stuck on the tank controls, and I just couldn't get into it. I was very frustrated by that one. But apparently, people are really liking it. Good.
Live service games. Sorry for the screaming. I forgot that it was
12.
and I have it here in my notes. 12 live service games, and they're only doing 6 and focusing on quality control. That's how you know something has gotten out of hand, is when one single publisher is working on 12 games that work this way. And I'm going to play some...
Jim Ryan didn't get fired. He retired. He seems to be well-liked within the company, but I'm just like, he went out on a high note. Let's be honest.
Bet here, and probably only 4 of those will ever come out.
I just want to play Helldivers now. I just want to play Helldivers now. The game is so freaking good. If you can play it, play it.
Know how many of them will be successful, but I don't think all 6 are coming out. I mean, we can look at the recent failure of Hyenas by Sega and Creative Assembly in another failed attempt at a live service game. But
I was part of the reveal for that. I did an interview or something where I ended up being the interviewer. I was reading other people's questions, and I'm just like, I was not hyped for Hyenas at all.
More interestingly, I think we can look at something like The Finals, which
Finals
I think
looks
is
good.
a fantastic first-person shooter that just feels really fun to play. It's a game that gave me more genuine enjoyment while playing compared to the sometimes endless treadmill of other live service first-person shooters. But it's definitely not topping the charts like it was a while back. And while it's very healthy, it hasn't retained the top spot among what people choose to play. And I think part of it is that
I think a lot of these games are flash in the pan, so to speak. I think The Finals was one of them where it was great. It'll probably retain around 15 to 20K concurrence. But I do wonder when Helldivers is going to wane. We saw Palworld lasted a month, right? The loop in Helldivers is fantastic. I have 8-9 hours in Helldivers. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm level 9, and I just can't stop thinking about playing. I see that footage and I want to play. Finals didn't do it for me, but to each their own.
that it's just too late. People are burnt out, and so am I. We are tired of the FOMO and the constant job-like feeling of maintaining our battle pass.
100%. We don't want gaming to be a job, and we can smell it a million miles away, and we bounce. Unless you have an exceptionally compelling narrative in your games, which Suicide Squad does not, the likelihood that we're going to sign back in monthly and have to pay for that additional story content is so freaking low. It's just not going to happen.
As progression in 2 or 3 different live service games that we're playing. Even if you don't have the battle pass, you're constantly bombarded with the idea that it exists and you should have it. I think many people maybe switched over to the finals from their main game, whatever it might be. They had a great time. Some of them
Destiny
have stuck, but others just feel like they've already invested so much of their lives into whatever is that main game that they just went back to it. So for a live service game like the finals to succeed, it's not good enough for it to be a good game or for it to have a decent live service model or even just a better one than its competitors. It also needs to come at a time when people are sick of their current game, whatever that might be.
And I think like Fortnite and Destiny, we have limited amount of time in our lives, right? So what the creator here is talking about is like, you can only be well-versed in so many games. And it's a challenge I have constantly. It's like, I can't know every single thing about every single game that comes out. I get to play like a few. So if Fortnite's your game, you're going to play Fortnite, and that's like your comfort food, right? Sometimes you end up playing another game, and that's great, but you can't play Fortnite and Destiny and the new Sea of Thieves or whatever it's called. Not Sea of Thieves, the other pirate game that nobody likes, you know.
And I don't think people who are sick of their current game now are really looking to jump into a different live service. We're all just kind of tired of it. So breaking into
now I
want
want to play Fortnite,
making more live service games, investing so much money and time and talent, like the situation with Suicide Squad, just to make a live service game for it to fail. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that happen very often anymore.
I don't know what the hell happened with Suicide Squad. I just don't understand. Like, do they have too many people just saying, yeah, amazing stuff. That story was so great. It wasn't. Like, how can you not? How did nobody flag that there were a lot of problems with that game? It must have. I mean, like, we know the founders left the company. They had to have known. There is no way nobody said anything. Peeing on the... And how come, like, yeah, let's do a pee joke about peeing on the Flash who we just executed, and then we'll make a penis joke after that. Who thought that was good? None of that. It wasn't really funny. Like, it didn't land well. And then, like, why are we rooting for the murderer to kill Green Lantern? Like, what happened? And there's no indication when you're playing the game that, like, they're clones or anything. So, like, yeah, you murder them. Even if it's, I don't know, there's no coming back from that story. Even if they're like, oh, well, that wasn't the real, it was a different universe, or they were clones or whatever. It's like the story that was encapsulated in the launch was so bad that I just think people bounce. And yeah, I do agree that it was kind of disrespectful. Sorry.
I think they are learning their lesson and understanding that it's too late to get into this business. People are too tired. And if you really want to make a game that continues throughout a long period of time.
You know what? It feels like executives are making the games and not the designers. And honestly, it just feels like, I've heard this phrase said before, design by committee. How come Larian can use that style and it works? How come the Path of Exile team can figure it out, but Blizzard can't? That's what's crazy. What is happening internally at Blizzard or Rocksteady where these other companies are figuring out that sweet spot? You know what it feels like? It feels like the executives making the content decisions. People who know nothing about gaming, trying to maximize revenue, and they're ruining our favorite games, and it's incredibly frustrating to me. And then, inversely, I don't mean to go off here. I'm going to go off a little bit. How come, inversely, there's stuff like God of War Ragnarok that I think is phenomenal? I think God of War Ragnarok is absolutely phenomenal. Like, that worked. But then we have, like, The Last of Us Part 2 remaster for the third time. I don't know, man. It's just expressing my frustration. My buttons aren't working. Does that mean the stream's over? What is happening here? There, boom.
Time is constantly updated, includes new content, and just that is a good thing for me. I like that idea.
Yeah.
This is a game I really like. Even if I stop playing it, when I come back, there's going to be new maps and new heroes or new weapons, new stuff to do. That's a noble ideal to chase. But if you're going to do it, it's got to be differently and in a way that doesn't make the consumer feel terrible like many of these games currently do. This is simply a case of the market telling the game developers, telling the people making the product that what they are making is not good enough, it's not interesting enough for people to play it.
Yeah, he's hitting the nail on the head. I think it's the executives making the content decisions as opposed to the creatives. And I think that's why a lot of people are breaking off and starting their own thing. I think they're just done with the profit margin conversations. They're just like, look, I just want to make games. I didn't want to like texture the loot boxes. I think a lot of devs are very frustrated, and the problem I alluded to earlier, I get frustrated when I see devs that are sort of, they work in this ecosystem, so it's constantly reinforced that this is how it has to be. And it just doesn't. It doesn't. And we see so many games proving that it doesn't, that it's frustrating when we see people, execs or whoever, say, this is how it has to be. It doesn't. There is a way to do it better. And the whole industry is going to have a big wake-up call because people are getting fed up with having their time monopolized and utilized for profit margin as opposed to delivering fun products. I think things are going to change quite drastically over the next 5 years.
People don't want to spend their money and waste their lives away on these games for a variety of different reasons. Obviously, these games do succeed, and there will be more of them, but they are going to either crash and burn immediately or not. And I think that a lot of that has to do with how they adapt and start approaching those friendlier business models and actually making great games that people want to play, instead of not only making live service games, but on top of that, they're pretty bad. I'm also sad and happy. This news is bittersweet because of the developers. A lot of these developers,
they're going to pay the price. You know who's not going to pay the price? Bobby Kotick. Nothing's going to happen to Bobby Kotick. Nothing's going to happen to the rich people. It's the people that have a passion and a desire to make the best thing possible. They're the ones that are going to pay. You know, Destiny broke me because it's like I sign on and it's like, oh, I have to grind out the squares again. You know what? I'm done. I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do something else with my time. I'm going to make more YouTube videos, or I'm going to make videos about these FTC legal documents. And I just, yeah, something breaks in you when you get older, I think.
Developers have spent years of their life, significant chunks, thousands of people on something like Skull and Bones, just to make a game that is mediocre and is not going to be a success at all, and will probably mislead the developers and mislead the publisher into thinking that, oh, people want this other thing, when what they just want is a good game. Those people's lives were, in a way, wasted on this stuff. And a lot of the talent, especially when we think of studios like Rocksteady with Suicide Squad, that talent seems to be wasted on something like this.
Hot take. I think Skull and Bones is going to do fine. I don't think it's had the negative reception that means it's DOA. And you might disagree with me. People really like pirate stuff. I feel like Skull and Bones is going to do fine. And I think that's worse because it means they might invest more in those practices. So, yeah. I think Suicide Squad, a lot of people have made the joke, could kill Rocksteady, and that's worse. Like, that's the worst thing about it. I don't know. WB, from what I've heard, isn't doing great. I think they're looking for a buyer, and like, sure, the Mortal Kombat games can do well and the Injustice games can do well, but yeah, I broke the thing again.
At the same time, I think that not every single developer that's working on a live service game is like working in a mine and is now suffering and struggling to pay the bills of working on something that they hate. Because, like I've said, I think there's merit to a live service. I come from a time where getting a new map pack for Call of Duty 4 was the most incredible thing.
Yeah.
Because we love the game, we love the progression. Call of Duty 4, a great game, but like everything, it starts to get stale. The game is just the same stuff is overpowered, the same maps, everybody knows everything, and suddenly having new maps gives you a new reason to play the game, for example.
But we don't even get new maps anymore. We get the 5 maps that we already had with one new one, and the new one nobody likes. So, like, that's problematic also. There's so many layers to the problematic situation that we're in.
So post-game content is something that a lot of people really enjoy. It's just that when you make your live service model all about, well, the game will be better eventually because we'll just keep adding content, and I promise, because the game we're releasing is mediocre right from the start, well, People are going to get tired of it. People are going to get tired of the constant battle passes, of these games feeling like they demand your attention permanently. And it just...
Yeah, people are done with, oh, it'll get better later. Suicide Squad's done. There is no way that game has a big comeback. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Skull and Bones maybe gets away with it. But people are just like, no, your game was bad now. We're done. What's been a success story besides No Man's Sky, where a game launched and it was abysmal, and then it was able to course correct and then be better? Maybe Halo. But like, what are the player numbers like in Halo? We can all agree, I think, that Halo has improved drastically. But are they going to have some big resurgence? They haven't had the thing yet that brings like everybody back. Deep Rock Galactic was always good, though. Big box, I think.
Just becomes a space that is too competitive. People will keep giving their time to the games that they've already given their time to. And I think that once they stop, a lot of people will just leave this type of game completely. There will be new people that maybe are interested in new live service games, but I hope that by then, this trend has changed. It has become something that is better, is healthier. If these games need to exist, if they need to be monetized, I think there are options for them to be monetized in ways that are better for the consumer.
Yeah.
Games that don't lock any gameplay content behind a paywall at all, for example, and only sell cosmetics, that's not the worst route to take. I think that an expansion model could work very well. The problem with expansions has always been that you might separate the player base, but something like Destiny 2, but without additional microtransactions on top of having to pay for a full price game.
Destiny 2 got way out of hand with the expansion packs. Like, nobody can follow the story. If you're a new player, you're just totally lost. And I think Warframe also suffered from that. But once you get into Warframe, I've heard it's really, really good. Final Fantasy 14, I think, suffers from that. Part of the reason I never caught up on Final Fantasy 14 is I feel totally overwhelmed. I feel like I'm going to be missing something if I don't play through all of the expansions. I got through Realm Reborn, and then I got into the middle between like the really good one everybody tells me, and like I just couldn't get through the middle part. And so I stopped playing. You know? So I'm excited for Final Fantasy 14 to come to Xbox, but I do wonder... Final Fantasy 14 is another great one. How many of those are there, though? I don't even think I can fill up one hand with the examples of games that had abysmal launches and came back. Like Cyberpunk on last gen never came back. They just said, yeah, we're done. So, sort of Cyberpunk. I would say No Man's Sky is a good example. Final Fantasy 14 is a good example. And I already said No Man's Sky. I think those are it. Anthem, dead. I think Suicide Squad's going to suffer the same fate as Anthem. They're just going to pull the plug on it. There's no way. Hopefully they make a single player experience. Warframe never had a problematic period, though, I don't think.
Game plus the expansions, kind of like a classic MMO, but without the cash shop. I think a lot of people would be happy with that. I also think that games with a price, something like Helldivers 2, but that also further monetize, giving you access to those premium things by just playing the game, essentially making it so that you can pay to unlock things earlier, isn't the worst thing if they don't compromise the competitive balance of how the game works, or it's...
Yeah, pay to win is problematic, but he's saying do it in a responsible way, I guess.
Aggression. I guess what I'm saying is there are ways to make this less horrible, and I think that if they steer towards friendlier ways, they will be rewarded. And right now, what we know for sure is that following the traditional strategies with things like Suicide Squad and Skull and Bones, they are not seeing any success. So that has to have an impact on the market and on the developers making these games. For one, if I can make a bold prediction about everything, I think time-gated battle passes are a thing of the past moving forward. Except in games that already use them, right? Things that...
Yeah, I think they're going to reduce drastically over the next several years. I think even Halo is like, yeah, we're going to kind of get rid of the unlimited battle pass thing. and we're changing that up. So I would agree with that assessment.
Are legacy games like Fortnite or Apex, but newer games that are going to attempt to have live service models like Helldivers, I think they're going to transition to the Halo Infinite model, where the battle pass itself isn't time gated. You can get it at any point, and the cosmetics or the items in that battle pass, even if it's 2 years later, you can still get that first original battle pass and get what you want, be it with money or with earnable credits in the game. However it may be, you're just not time locked out of it. That's really important to have people play your game when they already have a main game or when they have been burned by that system in the past.
Yeah.
But overall,
Destiny
I
broke
feel
me as an
really
example.
positive about these failures. Well, like I said, I'm very sad for the people who worked on these games and whatever conditions they have been in or the decisions that led to these situations. But I'm very happy that
There's situations, though, where the conditions were fine and there was no tomfoolery or super negative stuff happening. It just turned out that the game was bad. So whatever happened internally doesn't have anything to do with crunch or any of that stuff. It just wasn't a good idea.
the market, that we are reacting to it by saying, no, we don't want it. These games are bad. And that the general tone of the conversation towards these two games is, this is not what we want. This is not how you do it. You have to stop doing this. Please make better games and rethink your strategy. Because we are definitely at the point now where a general consumer, your Call of Duty bro, your person who goes to Walmart to buy a video game, now knows what a live service game is, and they don't want it. They're tired, they hear it, and they think, no, man, I don't have the time for another battle pass or another this thing. No.
And I think from a storytelling perspective, I think people are really tired of being told how to think or being told that you're a good person if you think XYZ. It's just like, I don't want to think about that right now. I just want to shoot space bugs. Can I just shoot the fucking space bugs, please? I don't want to talk about Trump versus Biden or like have some political stance. I just want to play a video game. Can I please just play the video? Like that's, I mean, that's how I feel. I don't like getting into political stuff. I hate it. I would rather just play video games. And it's not even subtle a lot of the times.
Oh, I don't want to buy
It's frustrating.
skins. I hate those cash shops. I don't like those games. And as that translates into sales and into coverage, we're going to see it change, at least in my opinion. Please make something better. And if you're going to make it a live service, you better rethink it carefully. You better rethink the whole thing over to give us something that we are happy with. And if you don't, we're not going to tolerate it. Anyways, let me know in the comments below if there would be a live service model that you think is healthy. If there is something, I don't know, Deep Rock Galactic, which I said before, if that's something that you enjoy, if you think there's a good balance to be struck, if you just don't want any live service games to exist at all. And let me know if you agree that this is a moment of change, that from here there might be a before and after for live service games, especially when it comes to development of new ones. If you're not subscribed, remember to subscribe. And hey, you're already here at the end of the video. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps the video reach more people. I've been Mug Thief. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you again very soon.
So that was Mug Thief. I'm going to subscribe. That was really good. He only has 16.7K. Here, I'll link it in chat really quick. I thought that was a really good video. I like that a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just tired of a lot of the things that have been happening lately. I just, like a lot of you, I just want to play video games and chill. That's it. And yeah, I'm not the type of person that's going to tell you what to think about anything. I'll tell you what I think, and we can disagree. Like we did at the beginning of the stream, right? Like with Kevin. How we all disagreed with Kevin and how Kevin was wrong. I'm not ending the stream. I was going to play Helldivers. So if you're still around, let's get around to Helldivers and then I got to call it after that. But I freaking love this game. Yeah, here we go. 14 to 38 achievements, 7.4. So I'm nearing 8. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. I don't know if anything happened over on Twitch, but it's good to see that I had a few Twitch viewers. Prototype Clay. Who else was there? Luke. I haven't seen you in forever. It's really nice. Like, I can't believe a lot of you guys are still around. I think Sohu. Yeah, Luke Bat. Man, there were a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time. I've been streaming for a while. The game does this sometimes where it like won't launch. The hope was that we would be playing Helldivers. Am getting over a cold. More polished EDF, maybe. I'm having some issues with my game guard. All right, here we go. I don't know what's going on. Is it gonna launch? I've been playing with randos and Helldivers, and I think it's great. Oh, I'm not getting game audio, though. I'm going to have to fix that really quick. Let me know how the balance is.
Super Earth, our home.
Gonna get a taste of freedom, everybody.
Liberty.
It's not letting me skip. There we go. Servers at capacity? No! It's way more fun with friends. I did not finish Baldur's Gate 3, Clay. How do I try again? Oh, man. This sucks. I played before the stream. I like just played. I did it last night. Let's give it 2 more tries. Come on, Helldivers, don't let me down. I only got like time for 1 more game. Ah. What a bummer. All right, we'll give it 10 more seconds. Did it cap out at 450,000 concurrents? Phineas, thanks for joining, as always. We're going to do some Dragon's Dogma 1 if this doesn't work. All right. Let's do Dragon's Dogma. We could do Suicide Squad. 58 hours in it. For that review that nobody cared about. We play some more Path of Exile. I really want to play Helldivers. Oh, Helldivers 3 just hit a cap of 388K. So if their cap is 450K, that means 388,000 people are playing on PC and 118,000-ish are playing on PlayStation. So if I'm hitting cap right now, that means their top concurrence of 388.77 means that 112,000 are playing on PlayStation right now. That's nuts.
Super Earth.
Yeah, PC for the win. We'll see.
Prosperity. Liberty.
See.
Hi there.
Whoops.
Democracy.
Look at that.
Our way of life.
Wow. Tom, hey Tom, how's it going? I'm trying to play Helldivers.
But freedom doesn't
Servers are at capacity.
No! Sweet liberty! Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right
Intro's
now.
really good.
You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself
Helldivers
that
2
you
is
have
my
the
game of the year
strength
so far,
and the
I think.
courage to be free. Join The Helldivers.
That song is so good.
See exotic new life forms.
I love this. It's so perfect.
Spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend.
Legally distinct Star Troopers game, yeah. Right. Please let me play. I really, really want to play. Yeah, it's at 388K right now, Tom. On Steam charts. Come on. Tom, log off so I can play. Is Asmon streaming? Is that why nobody can play freaking Helldivers right now? Oh, Movie Rant says, do you think if Microsoft went third party, they would be a powerhouse with all those companies they own? Yeah? By giving Sony no competition would be devastating. I think there's still competition with Nintendo and everybody, though. I've seen that argument a few times, but I don't think that there's no competition. Starhawk. I remember Starhawk. Yeah, Tom, it's really good. Thanks for doing the show with me, by the way. I will play one freaking game of Helldivers 2. I almost said Starship Troopers. Come on. This is the one. Ah. All right. I'm getting ready for Dragon's Dogma. I kind of wanted to capture Dragon's Dogma, but whatever. Yeah, Starhawk, wasn't that a PlayStation 3 game? We could just hang out and chat. Was Starhawk a PS3 game? How much longer should I wait for this connect? Should I bail? 308.77. Yeah, that's the cap. People can't even get in right now. Let's see here. Says it's trying again. My concurrents are going up? Well, stuck. That can't be right. Warhawk. That's right. Yeah, I don't think we're getting Helldivers today. All right, this is last try. If I get in, we're playing Helldivers. If not, I'm gonna boot up Dragon's Dogma. I only played through the intro, and I played through it like weeks ago, so I don't even remember how to play that game. Yeah, there were a lot of those cool like space games. There's no way I'm gonna get in, right? I get that glimmer of hope every time it like doesn't immediately kick me. All right, that sucks. I'll try again later today. I'll play tonight, I guess. Anyway, Helldivers 2 is great. Play it if you can sign in, I guess. Oh. Someone's on. Can I just buy it? I'm just gonna buy it. I don't want to do this nonsense anymore. 1 second. $20? What? All right. Yeah, you can get it for like $3 over on CD Keys. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Steam key. What's PCWW? Let me see if it's on my Epic account, actually. library. Dragon's Dogma, no results. Oh God. Platform. So I'm trying to buy it. Do you still wear glasses? I got LASIK. It's been good. What's WW? I don't know what the platform WW is. Platform Steam. All right. Activation. Sure. PC Worldwide. All right, let's see what happens. $3.79. Just do PayPal. Give me a sec. GOG for the win. Is it on GOG? Sure. All right. I'll be playing any second now. I just got to redeem my CD key. Starting to think we might have to just end the stream. Oh, I got a complete order. Okay. Boom. Come on, CD keys. I want to play Dragon's Dogma. I don't want to kick whoever off of the IGN account. All right. There it is. Boop. Just give me the code. Steam games and then all right, that worked. Boom, it's $3 right now. I'm sure it's a legit copy. Let's play. Oh my goodness. It messed with all my scales and everything. Oh God, everything's chugging again. Oh, I didn't plug in the controller. All right, so this is Dragon's Dogma. I don't have any mods or anything installed. But Dragon's Dogma 2 is a game I'm very excited about. Do you want to play the intro or? I need to swap something really quick. This is driving me crazy. All right, let's go back. Now it's like screwed up the other way. Stop. There we go. All right, main menu. I got a note. I got like the ding, which means somebody did something. All right, so I just played. I got like the dinosaur tier. I don't know what that means, but I'm starting like the main game now. All right. Your vocation determines your basic attributes, wieldable equipment, and skills. I want to do mage, I think. What should I do? Fighter, strider, or mage to start? Does it matter? Let's start with fighter, just so I can learn sword and board. Exit the room. Got it. Is the audio okay?
Yes. The wound has closed, and it seems the worst has passed, but
I gotta set it to I gotta set it to windowed full screen.
His heart lies silent.
I didn't mean to skip the story. I just wanted to. What is this resolution? That's 14 off. All right, what happens? Yeah. So you can only do full screen off or on. Somebody wanted me to say, this is our news? Okay. That's been a while. All right. We have to play full screen. Sorry for all the tech annoyances. All right, we're going to play for like 15 minutes. I accidentally skipped a story, which sucks. Can I save? Oh. I want to save in a different slot. Whatever. I just played through the intro. Let's get out of here. Boop. B is your contextual menu. I mean, hey, this looks a lot better than it would on any other platform, right? Well, yeah, it's the original Dragon's Dogma. When did this come out? Feels good, though. Oh, yeah, sword. That's great. Pick the right class. Okay, I'm gonna go towards the red circle thing. I assume that's where I'm supposed to be going. Purchase equipment. Yeah, I do it for fun, Joe. It was a callback. Most people don't get it. Microsoft owns gaming. I mean, I don't know about all of it. Who's that? I think with games, like, you don't need to modernize as much as you think. Like, I bet the gameplay holds up pretty well in this one.
That man you are speaking with, he's of the Pawn Legion. They
Okay.
come from some unknown place. Not human, quite. They look the
Gotta
part,
move my
sure
camera.
enough, but they lack.
So weird. Let's move it up a little bit.
The will, the spark, what drives us. They have no capacity to feel nor act alone, so they live as sellswords. Myrmidons.
Oh, you can, like, conjure them and they'll help you.
There's an encampment west of the village where men gather to face the dragon.
Oh, all right.
I'd wager a fair number of his kind will be there as well. Why don't you take him? Might be you learn aught of why he came to you in the first place.
All right. They're teaching me that you can, like, just have people help you. Available quests change as you progress through the game. Additionally, you can always consult the quest section. All right. Of course. People with red icons have information relevant to your priority quests. You can set one. Yeah, okay. Pretty standard stuff.
That pawn will be looking. Why?
Yeah, I already... Can I...
Purchasing equipment here in Cassidy's will make for a safer trip to the encampment.
What?
Where am I supposed to go exactly? I have a feeling everybody told me to buy gear.
path should see us there.
You can save manually by pressing back. Where? Did I miss it? Tools. How do I save? I just want to save. It said I could. Do I hold it? What am I missing? Equipment. Jewelry, cloaks, legs, arms, torso, head. Other. Special. Alright, whatever. Let's go kill some stuff. I think this looks linear, but like... Wait, where's my... Alright. Can I hurt that guy? Leave him alone. Die. Have at you. All right, we did it.
I'm called Reynard, but thanks to you,
Oh, so he's selling stuff.
I fear this is all I...
He doesn't have any luck. I don't know why my sword glows.
This road will have us to the encampment ere much longer.
Can I kill anything out here? I mean, that was pretty fun, killing those little goblin guys. Note the explosives.
Are you all right, Master?
Alright, so you can like... I don't like that there's no indication of what you can pick up. Oh, okay, they're starting to glow now. Sorry, I missed the chat. See, this is why I don't do Let's Plays work, because I'm so bad about reading the chat. Alright, well, let's go in, see what happens. Is that a person I fight?
I know the way, Master. Follow me.
Alright. More story. Did it say accessing server? I hope not. What's this thing?
Well met, Arisen. Can you hear us? We speak to you from across great pray. Forgive this rift. It opened.
Is this how I save?
To be among the Arisen. Prove the strength.
Sure.
Very well. If you are an Arisen in truth, the Arisen must a tireless.
They want me to prove my strength. Search the area.
A strange power emanates from within. Shall we search the area?
Sure, Rook. Was it that rock? Was that the strange power? Can I steal any of this stuff? No.
Seems the soldiers make their beds there.
Is that where the strange power emanates from? Alright, well... I ran out of time because we talked a ton about Xbox. Oh!
The beast comes! Hurry!
Let's go mess this up. Wait, where's the beast?
There may be prowling monsters.
Let's do it.
All all ready for battle?
Yeah, I got my rusty sword. I'm sure we're going to do just fine. Rook is a mage. Okay. Alright, that guy looks big. I'm digging this. This looks good, I think. I know it's the PC version, that's probably why. Wait, where'd my sword go? Yeah, you can, like, climb up. Oh. Yeah, get him right in the junk. How do I heal again? I don't remember. Oh wait, there's a little guy here. Look at that little guy, big boy time. Alright, so he's enchanting me. Got it. I just want to jump up on this guy. Whoa, I grabbed his hand. That seems bad. Ow. Yeah, climb his butt. Oh, I'm gonna die, right? I gotta go. Can I lock onto him? I want the big boy. Gotta get the ore. I'm going up. I don't know how this works, but I'm in his butt. Alright. I'm doing like no damage. Climb. Yeah, in his armpit. Oh, his eye. Alright. Yeah. Let's go. See you next weekend, Tuco. Dude, we just knock him out though, right? He's not dead. Did I do it? I did it. All right.
It was a close scrape, that. Let us return to the encampment. I'll heal your wounds.
I mean, did he seriously not have any loot? Yeah, you're gonna leave all this loot here? No way. What? His corpse just kind of burned. All right. All right, let's go back in. All right, pretty fun. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. All right. I was going to play Helldivers 2. I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Just wanted to get a little bit of gaming in. I need to play through this one again. I'm probably just going to start over. Well, no, I don't need to start over. I don't care too much about the story. I just want to play the game and get used to the gameplay. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to leave. Thank you so much to the members for supporting this channel. I really do appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, you can become a member. That's one of the easiest ways to do it. You can support at whatever level. I try and upload all my weekly videos as their own thing without ads. So click the join button if you want that, or you can just do YouTube Red. There's so many ways you can support YouTubers out there. So if you want to support me, that's one way to do it. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.